right, here is the video review for the very fantastic EARTHRISE STARSCREAM. He's a Voyager class figure. You can see he's in more of his G1 jet configuration, the F-15, and it's very similar to the classics. You can see some of the same detailing, and he does have some junk in the undercarriage, but he's still a very swooshable, like he's just the perfect size for all around the house, I just assume. But yeah, he's a really cool F-15 jet. Again, some undercarriage junk, but really nice silhouette in the shape of a jet. Here he is with the previous War for Cybertron, or the Siege version of Starscream / Tetrajet version. And you can see he's got a little bigger footprint than his Siege version did overall. But a nice little jet. And also, just to compare, when we'll do a comparison with Optimus Prime in robot mode in Optimus's video, but just to give you an idea, here's what we're looking at with Optimus Prime's core truck mode. He does have his trailer versus Starscream's jet mode. You can see Starscream is noticeably larger than Prime. He does, again, he's very similar to the Classics Seeker, the old smaller version, although larger. I don't have one to compare it to, but despite being very similar and pulling some of the same tricks, there's actually a lot of neat things going on here with him as well. Starting off, we'll just go ahead and pop his little weapons off, and the wings flip up. And the wings flip up very much the same way that the Classics did, although in this case, this wing did actually pop off on me earlier, but it's actually on just a friction pin. I can get just like a little plug. It's not pinned in, so if it does pop off, you just snap it right back on. You're not going to break it like you would have on the old ones. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, like, I know why I like them in robot mode, to kind of angle his wings back. They angle in the middle of the wing, like the whole wing doesn't angle back. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure why that's there, or why they chose to do it that way. But I'm not opposed to it. So you come down here, you flip those wings up like that. And the instructions actually show you when you're transforming them to jet mode to put the weapons on here, facing this way, and then flip them down with the weapons on. You can do that too. I just thought that was a weird step. So flip that up, lift up his little plate here, and untab his shins from here, and then you'll untab this from back here and extend the legs. Very Combiner Wars kind of thing, and then clip it back in. Make sure that this tab goes into the slot here in the knee pad. For that, open up his feet, just lift up his toes, fold back his heels. There's a little tab here, you kind of pull this out to the side on the ankle tilt, and then rotate the fins up, and rotate that up as well. Do that, split his legs, and we're cooking here halfway to robot mode. Let's go ahead and lift him up. And then bring it up like this, and then fold this down. Open up this panel and bring this whole assembly up. Fold out his arms, fold the nose cone assembly up, rotate it, and fold it up. Oh, not up, fold it down into here like this. And then this little tab goes into this little slot here as we fold it back up. So yeah, you may need to angle it a little bit, but make sure that tab goes in there. And then again, latch this all back together up here. The nose cone, just like on the old version, has a groove back here to fold down into. So it is sitting on his back, but it's at least not attached to the back of his head like it was on the old Classic Seeker. And then here, you can see this tab is actually a bendable tab for his elbow, which I'll show off in a minute. But when you're collapsing the arms, you want to make sure you kind of, because the arms, come on. Lift that up, the outside of the arm. But this, when you're going forward, because see this bends for his elbow, that piece right there bends, and when you're transforming it, collapsing the arm for the jet mode, you want to have that straight. This comes down and around, but you kind of want to make sure you angle it down like that so that gray piece comes through where his fist used to be. But yeah, we extend that up and then collapse the forearm, And now he's got a fully functioning elbow, which I thought was really cool. It doesn't have a wrist swivel, unfortunately, but oh well. And then you can, like I said, you can angle the wings back if you want, which looks good. And then back seam over here. I don't know why these things don't want to pop open. There we go. And then extend the arm and fold it down. And we're almost done here. We just have to attach his weapons to his shoulders. And here we go. There's Starscream in robot mode. Again, he does have these big fins. Ryan on Twitter, and not on Twitter. You know him from the third-party panel at TFCon and other such places. Was talking about how some of the new Legends scale ones do a better job of folding these fins away, and that's absolutely legitimate complaint. Here, because they do even come up a little bit past his toes, but that's really the only real issue I have with this guy. He's nicely posed. Again, he is very similar in the basic overall look to the old Classics figure, but he's got a ball jointed head. He's got dual hinge shoulders, bicep swivel, like a pretty solid little just past 90-degree elbow. No waist swivel, unfortunately, but dual rotation hips, thigh swivel, hinge knees, and he does have ankle tilt and the toe pose ability. So you can get him in some decent poses. It looks like Starscream. His jet mode is fantastic. So yeah, just overall a lot of fun. Here he is. Let's have his head facing this way. Here he is with his Siege counterpart. So just a smidge shorter at the head, and a little taller, a little shorter overall, just because of the pylons. But comparable in size to his Siege counterpart, while looking a lot more G1-esque. Here he is with the previous Voyager Megatron. Although, yeah, we've seen the new EARTHRISE Megatron, and it's like, why? Because it's not super different from this, with like a crappier sword and a worse-looking tank mode turret. Like if the EARTHRISE one, I heard the EARTHRISE one was going to be more of a G2 look. I would have loved the green tank Megatron, or with like the big shoulder cannon versus the arm cannon, and instead we just got like I don't know. I mean, again, a lot of my opinions on Siege has changed. When they first announced it, I was like, oh, great, more G1. And there is some of that, especially when you're looking here at Megatron and Starscream. But overall, I've been happy with the figures. That Megatron just isn't doing anything for me. All the stuff we saw at Toy Fair today, this is Saturday of Toy Fair. The Scorponok, the full pictures of Snapdragon, the Quintesson, the Cobra, Slider Striker, or whatever they call him, like the one that's clearly based off that old Cobra Headmaster, little guy. All look great. Like, I'm looking forward to a lot of them. I was kind of hoping we'd get something cool. Double Dealer looks good. I like the idea of Knock and Scar coming in the pack with Frenzy and Wing Thing, especially because, hey, Orange Rat Bat, you know how I feel about that. But yeah, I was hoping we'd see something neat. Like, I'd love to see new Omnibots. Ever since we got that SDCC card pack for the trading card game this last SDCC, last San Diego Comic-Con, I'm really hoping we see them show up at some point in the line. I think they would be cool figures to have, because I remember them from being a kid. Scorponok looks fantastic. Like I said, I'm enjoying Snapdragon. Just not feeling the Megatron. Anyway, this is a video review of Starscream, and all I wanted to do was show him off with Megatron, and we see how that went. But yeah, he's a great figure. If you're looking for an upgrade to your Starscream, maybe you skipped the Siege version, maybe you haven't bought one in a while, he's great. Like I said, he's all the cool bits of the classics with a few refinements, some new neat tricks, and just a really nice Starscream figure. Not perfect. Got to, like I said, I do wish maybe they'd had a more elegant solution for the tail fins there on the legs. And maybe just, the way this whole chest comes together, it's a little gappy right up here, but minor. And then you can kind of see some holes there on the side of his body, which were kind of complaints from the Classics as well. But the Classics was also a little smaller. So, and I do wish this sat a little bit more flush against his back. It does, yeah, it doesn't seem to slide in at all. It would have been nice if this could fold down and then kind of push in so it wasn't wobbly back here. But overall, very nice Starscream. Super awesome jet mode, very whooshable, and glad to have him. But there is Siege Earthrise Starscream.